Hello and welcome everyone to BPL Season 3, Round of 16, Group C. This is the ultimate match in Group C. This is Round 3 between the two loser bracket finals. So this is the elimination game between ZLO and Shoty. I am once again joined by the one, the only, ZLO.
The ZLO.
That's
Hello.
right. Hello. I point to the empty chair, but you're there.
Yeah, mic only. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're here with me in spirit, right? I provide the empty chair. If you ever are willing to come and sit down in the studio, we would love to have you.
Yeah, I'll come right over.
All right, so ZLO, Shoty, what are we thinking? How are we feeling?
I think it should be a pretty close match here.
Yeah,
good games.
I know. I agree. I mean, this should be good, right? They're both 1-1, and they both have the same overall score. So ZLO is 2-3, right? He 2-1 to Lopatka, and then got 0-2'd by Sash Korin, and then Shoty got 0-2'd by Sash, and then 1-2'd Lopatka. So essentially equal scores coming in here, identical scores coming in here. But I'm gonna kind of favor ZLO just because he's got a lot of experience. He kind of has that macro style. I will say
that's
though,
very true. I mean, I would say I'm not sure if ZLO has been practicing a lot or not, but that can definitely play a factor in how this goes. And so I would put him a little bit more even in terms of that.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I would think maybe Shoty has a chance here.
Maybe Shoty has a chance here. Okay, I mean, hey, I'm not gonna say no. I have a few doubts about it, but I think if Shoty, to be fair, Shoty is one of those players who's incredibly good at getting under other people's skin. So maybe he can OP throw ZLO off his game.
Yeah, right. Totally.
But yeah, we'll see. So ZLO with the Fallendell ban. No shallow straights ban. Oh, ZLO, have you researched Shoty, my friend?
Yeah, it's kind of an important ban, unless you're comfortable with that, dealing with that kind of play.
That's true. Maybe, I mean, shallow straights has been in the pool for a while, so maybe ZLO is, you're right, maybe ZLO's comfortable and he's like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
So Shoty drops out one of the big three, right? So we still have Canis and Cirillata in the pool. One of those might go first phase. I guess we'll find out momentarily as ZLO thinks about it.
Mm-hmm. What's it gonna be, ZLO?
What is it gonna be? It is gonna be Heartbreak.
All right.
Hill. All right. I'm down.
I'm definitely down too. I mean, I don't think we've seen enough Heartbreak Hill, but
we haven't. I will say though, as the round of 16 has progressed, we have seen a lot more Heartbreak Hill and a lot less Feast of Hades, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I suppose that is true. Yeah. Heartbreak's a great map. I love seeing games on here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's been in a lot of recent tournaments, right? So I could totally see ZLO picking it just because he feels, like he has a little bit more of history on it and he's a little bit more prepared for it. But
yeah, it's certainly an old map, so I mean, he might have some OP strats on it.
All right, and players are in. We are coming in. So ZLO played on Leftovers. He did not play in Nation Wars though. A little disappointing that we didn't see a Russian team, but that's how it goes. ZLO with, this is going to be a 2-mex open. Let's make sure Shoty isn't com dropping. He's not.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Phew.
I've made that mistake before. Well, I'll look at someone else's build for a while and be like, oh, what's this guy doing? And then I look at Shoty and there's an air lab done. I'm like, oh,
right.
no, here we go. So
yeah.
Shoty is actually gonna 3-max solar into bots, core bots, which, I mean, grunt standard play on this. Little discussion on if Shoty had banned this, whether or not ZLO would pick Assidious. Little OP map meta there.
Just getting a little intel for the next time.
So I like this ZLO with really, really good energy management, right? He knows he's gonna stall, so he's gonna put all his BP into the solar, get it up, and then boost out the grunt and just rotate between these wins while he needs to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a good decision to make that solar too, because the wind did start dropping a bit.
Yeah,
but now that he has it, just kind of going for some more wind for later.
So yeah, and ZLO has these 2 initial grunts. So he opened 2 grunt. He's gonna open 3 grunt into 2 con, and he's just now gonna take his 3rd max. Whereas Shoty with his triple max opening is just
Yeah,
now
it kind
getting
of
out his
it kind of
feet.
looked like to me that ZLO wanted to do some like early aggression, but then the wind kind of stalled him out a little bit, and so it's coming
Oh.
out a little bit later than would have otherwise. And Shoty, meanwhile, with the three solars, I mean that's kind of a lot of metal in solar, but at the same time, wind has been low, so I'd be curious to see if he ends up reclaiming some of those later on when the wind picks up, or if he keeps it. But then again, it is it's a 3 to 15 wind map, so some solars is going to be nice here.
Yeah, and ZLO with kind of the standard first con expansion, he's going to go
Mm-hmm.
here, and then we normally see kind of like the LLT wall there. Sometimes you're going to mix in exploiters, and he builds the quintessential high ground radar that's there. Shoty does not have it yet, so I don't think he sees these scouting grunts
Yeah,
from ZLO.
there's like a slight difference here in how they're expanding. So Shoty's kind of going, taking the back mexes first and circling around. Whereas Low is going straight up that hill, putting that radar down and taking the mexes in the front here. And I think that radar is pretty OP having it that early. So we'll see how Shoty deals with these grunts here.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the raid yet, and ZLO's going to send one grunt in the bottom and try to pull more grunts there, and then he had some grunts up top, so maybe he can send them in, but Shoty actually already had grunts protecting this con, so ZLO's not going to get a lot done with this raid, but he does get information, and he does keep all of Shoty's grunts kind of pinned really in his starting base.
Yeah, I think Shoty, is prepared for that, has, realized like, well, if I'm gonna delay my radar, I need to keep grunts around there for that kind of eventuality, right? Pretty smart.
And ZLO is going to send a second con to backfill the mexes here. So the one con is taking the forward, the second is going to backfill these, which I like. He can maybe build one later if he wants to. And then he has the third expanding con, which is going to take these mexes. He doesn't have the high ground radar here, which we see
Yeah, I
from
was
a
just
lot
gonna
of players.
say he doesn't have that queued up, so I mean that might come into play later on, but we'll see if he mixes it, realizes it and mixes it in. Oh wait, there is a radar.
What? There is?
Yeah, it's like it's hard to see. It's on the bottom part before the mex.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah, it's so hard to see that I missed it
Apologies to the
too.
viewers. I didn't see it when I just looked at it. It just kind of.
I was like, wait, that's not quite a straight line. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, radar.
So,
anyways.
Yeah, no, it's good. So Shoty with a slight lead in grunt count, right? 13 to 16 grunts. And they're all sort of just trapped on his side. So Shoty with this sort of slower, methodical expansion, he is a little bit behind ZLO, like 10 to 16, actually more than a little bit behind, because ZLO is just naked expanding with these. But I think once these grunts can actually get out and maybe apply some map pressure, he should be able to slow ZLO down enough that he could potentially equalize this mex count.
Yeah. And we see like a bit of a difference in like how they're expanding with the cons too. Like Shoty's doing this like double con expand down each path, which means he's going to be able to build stuff a lot faster, right? But ZLO, taking I should say splitting up those cons to do different things. So this kind of or that kind of play favors a more economical thing because you don't have to walk as far because you're grabbing so many more mexes at once.
And Shoty sees these grunts trying to snipe the con on this side, but ZLO already has 4 grunts to defend, so he's not going to get it. But Shoty says, well, if a bunch of your army's there, let me send these grunts a little bit more toward mid and see what I can find. ZLO doesn't have a lot here, but his comm is here, and he does have the defender's advantage.
Yeah, and that radar is really playing crucial now. He saw that a little bit ahead of time.
Yeah, so
he's
he's able to
setting up
respond.
this nice concave.
But these max counts are, what is this? Almost equal in terms of grunt count, actually. But if these grunts do swerve up, it could be kind of dangerous for ZLO because those are all unprotected. Oh, I lied. There's an exploiter right there, so I guess he's fine.
Oh, okay. The exploiter's going to be OP in that spot.
Yeah, and this poor grunt on the side, he's trying to snipe some cons, but Shoty brings over.
Okay, so those
grunts
grunts are moving forward now. They decide to kind of go for it anyways. I'm not sure if this will turn into OP feed or not. It looks like he's actually moving up the hill there, and that's kind of going to get trapped up there, right?
Yeah, but he's actually, he makes a good decision. He sees the mechs and he's going to pivot up. So he gets the mechs, he's going to get the con and the LLT, and I think he makes it out here. So actually, that is giga value. That is amazing.
Yeah, he could circle around perhaps. I mean, these grunts from ZLO are definitely en route to cut him off though. So
oh,
I'm not sure if they're gonna get out. Oh yeah, wow.
He just turns
big brain.
turns and goes the other way, which I like. ZLO does have this grunt that's gonna get cleaned up that was kind of trying to scout over there, and both players are sticking with bots for now. Around now, we generally will see if they want the vehicle, the high ground vehicle lab transition. Oh, I hear a self D.
Yeah, it really depends on like how aggressive the play is, right? Because if you start losing a lot of grunts and then you switch into vehicles, well, now all of a sudden you don't have the numbers anymore. So, you know, I think in this kind of position, there's been quite a bit of fighting going on. So it kind of makes sense to stay on it for a little bit longer.
Yeah. I know, I agree. I think that's, you know, it's one of the things you see so many 1v1 players throw a game where they try to do a lab switch or they try to T2 and then they're behind just a little bit in unit count and then they start taking these unfavorable trades that, oh.
Yeah, I mean, they just start losing a lot of ground in that. Ooh.
The idea was there. The idea was there, but there is nothing to defend this. There are 4 mexes, and ZLO knows that he's going to try to hide this little con in the corner. The con's running as fast as he can. Okay. He's like, get me out of here. There is a skirmish on top. It looks like ZLO's going to be able to push back a bunch of Shoty's grunts, and he's going to come up here and see if this is fortified and if he can break it, but it's not fortified. There's nothing there, and does Shoty see this con? I don't think he. Oh no, he does see it.
Just barely. Oh man.
Oh, that's a tough world out there. He was trying. He's like a little kid facing the corner. If you can't see me, I can't see you. Oh, and all right. So ZLO does his VLab transition now. Shoty has not done a VLab transition yet, but.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a scary time too, because he just lost like a bunch of, you know, a bunch of expansion constructors and a bunch of runs. So like, there isn't really a lot out here. And meanwhile, Shoty, actually, does Shoty see the lab?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, grunts are okay. There it is. So yeah, now Shoty even knows that it's going on. So now Shoty can plan for that.
And what is he going to plan? Oh, he's going
for his own VLab.
Yeah. And he does have this kind of BP that is in range of the bot lab here that he's building, and that he can maybe build a little bit more farther forward and double dip into it depending on what he needs. These grunts are going to try to come on the backside, but this is triple exploiter, and I don't think that's something that the 6 grunts want to engage with.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, and there's also a lot of grunts for Shoty moving up on the top side.
Yeah, they
probably looking to swing south here.
Yeah, and that's a completely unexposed expansion, right? I think there's a lot he could get there, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there are some grunts, but like it's gonna be hard to get over there with a lot of grunts because he doesn't, you know, because he's splitting his economy into the vehicles now as well, so a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, and ZLO is on a 3 incisor, 1 rascal repeat queue, and Shoty sees this massive ball and starts to run his con, but I think that con is just straight up dead. Shoty is just, he's got 1 pounder out, he's got 2 pounders out, so.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's, I mean, to be fair, I think Heartbreak is actually one of the few maps where early pounders can make sense just because it's so like choky, you know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of open space here, personally.
I mean, there is, but there's also, I think, like, especially in mid, when they're attacking up, they're kind of like these narrower ramps that they're attacking. So I think pounders do well there, and I think pounders also do well on the sides to kind of hold it.
Yeah, I suppose so. And the other thing is, it's such a bot-favored opening kind of map that like there's going to be a lot of grunts and stuff running around. So a pounder can do wonders against, you know, things like grunts.
Yeah, that is true. We've all been on the receiving end of the the pawn or the grunt versus like pounder ball, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
So ZLO splits his army a bit here. He doesn't get either of the expanding cons. He kills 1 LLT, but he's going to try to run through. There's a defensive LLT here, and his commander is kind of out in no man's land. I think it's going to be okay because there are supporting units, but he does need to be careful. Oh
Yeah.
no, Shoty with the ultimate catch. He's
Oh,
gonna
man.
find both of these expanding cons that we're gonna try to backfill mexes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it looks like ZLO trying to do some pressure at the northern areas, and Shoty's coming down from that northern area on the other side of the map.
He does, yeah, but ZLO does have supporting resbots, and I think these resbots are gonna be able to repair and res. Ooh, or are they? Oh, Shoty can target fire these and maybe.
Ooh, losing those kind of a big deal.
Oh, that what? Shoty played this. I don't know if ZLO played that poorly or Shoty played that incredibly well, but he cleaned up quite a bit there. So actually,
Yeah, I think ZLO just like looking, doing something else on the map. Maybe worrying about this frontal position here.
Yeah, and here it is. But ZLO is going to have an incredible concave if he sees it and commits. Yeah, he's going to start to back up. There are pounders here though, and it's what incisor grunt versus pounder brute. That's a little scary.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty strong force here from Shoty. Looks like ZLO is trying to match it now, trying to build some brutes of his own.
No pounders though, just straight brute with a rascal mixed in.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think the rascal's there to soak the shots of the pounder, but yeah, this is kind of coming in right now.
He
I don't
does.
know if there's really time for massing up a sizable force to defend this.
Yeah, I mean, on the bright side, he has a ton of BP on this, and if Shoty doesn't do a lot of damage here, it's a little dangerous because that's going to be a ton of metal right on ZLO's doorstep, and you can just take it. But well, where are these cons going? I don't know if you want to bring these cons in view because.
Yeah, there's that aspect of it, but at the same time, he doesn't really have the metals to fully utilize the BP on the lab, anyways. But yeah, either way, this is looking like a rather scary force from Shoty. I wouldn't mind if he like ate some solars here just to get that metal real quick. Oh my god!
Oh my god, these pounders!
Oh,
ZLO is in a massive. This is really concerning for ZLO.
Yeah, that's a lot of cons gone. That's a lot of metal gone.
Well, I think he cleans this up right, and they can't really get too much more. I love that these are just building this out. So actually, ZLO is gonna.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, ZLO is gonna clean this up. He did go air, so we see fighters, but that's a lot of metal, right? That's 2K metal on the ground here. He did kill 10 cons, which is what, 1100 metal. But
yeah, I mean it's a sizable donation for ZLO, but I think the air transition's pretty smart in my opinion from Shoty. Potentially going to be able to get a lot of wind, but look at how ZLO has placed his wind turbines. They're like so spread out that I don't think the spawn run's actually going to do as much as Shoty is hoping for.
Yeah, you're right. This is that is an incredibly obnoxious layout to bomb if you don't bring a lot of bombers. And
yeah, right.
Shoty is he really going to commit with just 2? I guess maybe because he already revealed the fighters, he feels like he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I would think that this is a bit of a mistake revealing the fighters.
Oh no, he's going over the trashers. First bomber goes down. Second bomber also goes down.
It's just gonna go. But yeah, I mean, it's still a pretty sizable force here from Shoty roaming around. We kind of have to wait for ZLO to do some resurrecting of those medium tanks.
Shoty's gonna try to invade bottom, and he does have Shuris to back this up, so these exploiters might just, they're gonna get completely amped, locked down, and if he can kill these 3 defensive exploiters, it might end up really nice, because then he can raid and keep this whole bottom section of the map free of mexes. But ZLO,
that's a really important spot for ZLO to keep, for the reason that you say, but it's also just 4 mexes sitting there, so like, kind of a big deal.
All those Shuris grouped in that trasher.
Oh boy.
That is a hero trasher.
That sucks for Shoty there. To not be able to utilize that, because I mean, when you go trasher instead of fighters for your air defense, it's kind of hard to be everywhere on the map, and those Shuris could have been somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he does have some more out, so he's kind of okay.
So we see brutes, some brute versus brute action. Little barbaric warfare in mid, but Shoty did kind of dislodge ZLO from this triple mex position, and there's a ton of wrecks here that he has control of for the moment, but ZLO does have a force here, and he has some pounders coming, so.
Yeah, the resbots are en route, but I think the pounder's going to be there in time, so.
So this pounder
looks like the wreck field's going to actually go to.
Is it low?
Yeah, I think it's going to go to ZLO there. Meanwhile, he's also using his own resers in the mid of the map to, do some resurrecting there. So I think he's in pretty good shape here for just having a sizable force.
Yeah.
But here comes the Shuris again. This is kind of questionable to me, right? Because, I mean, Shoty's got to know that there's Trashers there, because they were there before, right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does. He's going to come in and try to lock down mid a bit, but yeah, there's a Nettle up above, and now they're here, and once the Trashers make their way over, although, actually, I guess the Trashers aren't quite close enough. They're coming from his main base. Oh, here they are. Now they're firing.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal that these are getting locked down, but at the same time, ZLO does have, a nice flanking medium tank army here coming in the back.
Yeah, and so he's gonna push this. He does have Shoty not excited about the map apparently.
Oh boy!
And I love that ZLO just has pounders on repeat. He's just
this is a great use of pounders too. Just like slow down this push, and they do great damage as well. So, and now the reinforcements are here from the back. So, some pretty good cleanup here from ZLO. And here's another wreck field for him, right?
Yeah, that is a massive wreck field too. That's 3k metal, and Shoty didn't bring resbots with this push, so he's not eating anything behind it. There aren't even resbots on the way, which is really concerning because I feel like he basically just gifted ZLO the game without even thinking about contesting the wreck field that his push was going to create, and he knows it. He taps out.
Yeah.
And Shoty with the very well-mannered play as per usual. Shoty known for his very
BM.
his very polite no, I'm kidding. Shoty is in fact known for a little bit of BM there. But close game. I mean,
pretty close. I think Shoty was still like pretty good, was doing all right, but like I think just getting a little carried away with the frontal assaults there.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he just he just kind of overcommitted into it. Unfortunately. I think actually that final push wouldn't have been quite as bad if he had resbots behind it, right? Because he could have that was a really slow push in mid and he was winning it. But if he could have either rezzed all the wrecks or eaten all the wrecks, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Like that would have been enough to feed his T2, right? He could have gone T2, or he could have just made like 25 stouts, or sorry, 25 brutes, and then kept going from there.
I think the real thing with that is like, since ZLO had some tanks coming in the back, and because the pounders are pushing forward, it was kind of like squeezing the army there. And I don't think that there was really enough time to resurrect anything. By the time that like the back army caught up and and whatnot. So I just don't think there was enough there to really hold it, personally.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like he could have potentially gone elsewhere, or just did some more raiding or something like that.
Yeah. So he does. Shoty does lose this first map, Heartbreak Hill, which, to be fair, is the map that ZLO picked. So
yeah, that is fair. Well, we know what Shoty's probably gonna pick, right?
I think we know what we hope Shoty picks, right? And true to form, our boy picks what we were all hoping for.
Well, so does ZLO plan for it? Does he know that this is coming now that the map is picked?
That's true. Actually, does he know? I wonder how much research he actually put into Shoty.
Right. Yeah, right. I mean that all goes in the preparation of playing these matches. Like, do you spend the time to like research your opponents and see what kind of plays they make?
Yeah, no, I mean it totally does. But they are loading in, and we are ready to watch this. So this is a little scary for Shoty, right? I mean, if he loses this, it is game over. Is that an air lab? Okay.
No comment.
if Shoty loses this, he is out. If ZLO wins this, he is in. So Shoty needs to win this and the next game to make it to the round of 8. And it looks like it's going to be a quick one. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know. Maybe he gets out, right?
So ZLO does triple max. He doesn't 2-max. So his lab is going to be a little bit delayed compared to Shoty's trans. I will say though, Sash Korin calm dropped ZLO on Heartbreak in the first series, and I feel like ZLO, after getting that, I think he's the type of player who will have a good response to it.
Yeah, I mean, well, only time will tell, right?
Like that is one of the responses right there. Look at that. That's a radar. That's like a pre-lab radar. So he is going to be ready. And Shoty with the more conservative version of this, he doesn't eat there. He eats the lab. Sorry, the more conservative. He eats the lab so that if he does want to calm drop and then back away, he will be fine. And let's see, what is our boy's low? See here.
Yeah, does he try to block the lab? Does he put the LT? Yeah, that's pretty normal.
All right, so he puts the lab down. Shoty's gonna get a D gun on the lab, and ZLO he's body blocking this. Shoty needs to just pick up and fly away, right? Oh yeah, he can't though.
Oh, the transport's gone. Yeah. So he can go in the water though. So I mean, I think he's chilling.
Yeah, you're right. He is. So Shoty is ahead in metal now, right? Because that lab was almost done. So ZLO loses out on the 650, 620. How much is the lab? 620. Oh, look at this.
Oh, he's even eating his LT.
That is efficiency right there. That is big brain efficiency. He's like, I don't need that. Let me just get in here. So normally,
well, since Shoty is walking away, like, where does he go now?
Wait, where does he? And he's in radar too, isn't he? Wait,
right. So where does he go? Does he go all the way down to the mexes? I mean, I think that's a little too late, right? Yeah, so he's doing a lab there, but there's no mexes there, right? So
yeah. So wait, what does
there's no economy behind this, and I don't think this is gonna pan out for that reason.
Okay. So he is behind here. I mean, he does have a solar back here, but I agree with you. I mean, ZLO is technically behind, but he won't be behind for long because he has 3 mexes, right? And Shoty just has his commander's income, so he needs to immediately make these cons and go cap mexes, but he doesn't even have the E for it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it kind of turns out that Shallow Straits maybe isn't the best map for this because maybe you can get away, but like, where do you go then?
Yeah,
like, because there's no mexes if you walk through the water.
Well, to be fair, if his transport had survived, I think maybe he could have done something like that and then ended up on these 4 mexes here. And then, like, if you pork here, right, then you can kind of occupy all of mid, and then you have, this until you're fighting naval things, so you win economically. But that's not what Shoty did. I mean, Shoty ended up in one of the more precarious situations, and you have to imagine ZLO is like, okay, well, that happened. I think we're good now. Like, I can recover this.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable here as low. I mean, he did a great job there. I'm not sure if he like target fired the transport or what, but what happened to it? It didn't get D-gun, did it?
I don't know. It was one of those things where I was watching the comms. I think it may have, because nothing else would have shot it, right? The LLT wasn't done. He didn't have a grunt out. So maybe ZLO target fired it with his commander, or he would have had to have D-gunned it. But at the end of the day, the transport.
Well, I mean, so sometimes when you land there, right, and your transport's right there, and you're like, dead set on D-gunning the lab, sometimes you accidentally get your own transport in it.
That is true,
and it's kind of hilarious when that happens, but it's something you have to like be careful of when you're doing that D-gun.
Trans, please. ZLO hitting back at Shoty's earlier BM comments, but he's in a great position. I mean, if you just look at this economically, right, it's 4 metal a second to 10 metal a second, and 83 to 212, and I mean, ZLO has seen. He's seen the lab and the buildings and everything here just like on radar. So he knows where Shoty's comm is. And
yeah, it's a little strange that I think it's a little strange anyway that the pawns are on the bottom side of the hill there. Because I feel like they could have been like maybe guarding the entrance, right?
Yeah, like they could have, like tried to push up a little bit or something. And rocket bots are out now, so Shoty needs to make rocket bots of his own or Centurions or something. And he makes a torpedo launcher. I guess he's afraid of the comm walk up to his lab, which
I suppose.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, because if ZLO just calm walks here, by the time he pops up, he can probably degun Shoty's lab and then it's over. But I think Shoty might just be too far behind economically, right? Like he's on 91 energy a second. ZLO's on, more than double that. And
yeah. I mean, I think from here, ZLO just needs to play like a careful economic game. He's already ahead. He doesn't necessarily need to do anything, right?
Yeah, and oh no, all of Shoty's units die, so ZLO should be able to just like raid through here and kill all of these, and Shoty's comm isn't gonna be able to catch him.
Oh boy.
Shoty does make a... What is this trasher do? Okay, so Shoty, okay. All right, Shoty.
No GG. No GG.
No GG. Shoty just says, that's it, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense. Like, okay, so you see some enemy units coming towards your base, and you have some units that you can potentially hide behind a hill and not show them, right? Just like, oh, they're somewhere else, or I just don't have them. And then the enemy comes forward, you greet them with the commander, and then your units go around and flank and make sure they can't escape. Sorry, I digested that a little bit further, and then I was like, oh, maybe that's what happened, or maybe that was the like thinking behind it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but it's at the end of the day, I mean, that was actually an awesome job from ZLO, right? I feel like he reacted really well to that. I think maybe the Sash Korin PTSD, he was like, not again.
Yeah, I mean, that early radar, I mean, that's really all you like truly need. And then, just to be aware, like once you see a blip on the radar, like, stop building everything and just put down an LLT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they can't trade. And then if you want to guarantee your win, then you shoot down the transport as well, because then they, even if they get away, they're going to get away slowly and not to an ideal spot.
Yeah. Good point, actually. Yeah. I mean, it worked out super, super well for him. I didn't think it would work out quite that, like, normally, because like in the I don't know if you watched, we cast the Barcast Sash Korin game together, right, where Sash just degunned the lab and then backed off and then just rebuilt. It's like losing that transport just makes it impossibly hard to recover.
Yeah, for sure.
So hold on, we can take a look at the bracket. That is gonna the group, sorry. That is gonna finish out Group C, which is hype. We are closing in on the round of 8. So in this one, this is the round
I'm
3.
pretty happy to see ZLO advanced.
Yeah, I am too.
Being such a like legend in a way, like just one of the really good players from before my time anyway.
Yeah, I think it's also fun when we have it like as like a fully global event. I mean, ZLO's Russian, Jusato's Brazilian. I think it's great when all that talent is kind of spread across the globe, and it's just cool. It's nice to see that big mixture.
Yeah, it's not like StarCraft where it's like consolidated in Korea.
Yeah, 100%. So Shoty is out. He is eliminated 100%, and that means ZLO is going forward. So yeah, Sash Korin and ZLO putting on a show in Group C, and they are both advancing to the round of 8. What was your favorite series from this group, Zateo?
I mean, I don't know. I think ZLO Lapaka actually was pretty good.
Yeah, I think ZLO Lapaka was my favorite as well. That was super enjoyable for me. Just like, because you normally don't get to see those longer macro games. You don't get to see the T3 and everything else. So yeah,
and just seeing like a different approach to the game, because I'm used to seeing like such a like micro intensive, like lots of units early kind of style. And to see it turn into a little bit more of a pork fest and having fewer units and more economy was pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. That was awesome. So that is it for us tonight here. Group C is done, which means only Group D remains, and we will go to a break and we will cast that another day. But have a wonderful evening for everyone watching.